fresh from his weekend win on US soil. The new WBC Super Lightweight World Champion, Dalton Smith, joins us live in studio. How about that, Spencer? Let's do it.
What a performance. What a performance.
To spontaneous applause. Dalton, I mean, there it is, the spoils of victory. If you're watching on YouTube, Dalton, lift that belt up for me, would you? To one of those cameras over there. That is what it's all about. Can you see it? Yeah. The WBC Super Lightweight World Champion, that is the belt that goes with it. And he stopped Subriel Matias in the 5th round to claim the world title in New York. How's it feeling?
I don't think it's really sunk in yet. I was saying to you before I got home and I'm sat in my kitchen looking at that on the side and I'm thinking, how the hell is that in my house? But now obviously it's good. What a weekend. And obviously it's not a shock to me because I always believed I'd be able to do it. But apart from a little bit of jet lag and tiredness, I feel good.
Do you know what, Dalton? I think the beauty surrounding this story is that nothing has been gifted to you. You've had to graft for it, going back to your amateur days. You've always had to prove yourself, and you've gone through that system of winning English, British, Commonwealth, European, world. It's not an easy thing to do that. You've never had any help to get there. You got there, and then the circumstances surrounding all that as well. Yep. Going in there against Matias, who was relentless in his last performance when winning that title. You go in there and you go, you met fire with fire and beat the guy at his own game. And that was the only way that you could do it, wasn't it?
I think, obviously, I think I could have boxed a little bit more, but...
He was getting momentum when you done that, though, so you met him at his own game, and that effectively, you gassed him out.
But first of all, obviously, I never want anything easy anyway. It's boxing. If you want to achieve great things, it's going to be hard. But after the first round, I proved I can box his head off. And then the second round, he was on it, he came. And the thing with Subriel is if you keep letting him push you back, he gets momentum. And to be honest, he hit me with his best shots. And as the rounds went on, I lost more respect for his power. As entertaining as it was for everyone else, I was losing respect, and I knew every time he threw, I had an answer for, and I was hurting him. And as the rounds went on, I felt him getting weaker, and he was getting tired. And I thought, your nickname is No Matias, and I'm going to do what you said you was going to do to me. So I just thought, stick on his chest, and I'll get to him.
Did you think there was a moment in that 5th round you thought, this is it, this is my chance?
I mean, obviously, it was a high-paced fight, but as much as I took some shots, it didn't hurt me. It didn't hurt me, and I was losing respect for his power, but I knew I was gaining his respect for mine. But obviously, the knockout came, but obviously, there was loads left in my tank. When she gets around 6 and 7, your second wind's going to come anyway. So I just thought, stay on his chest, push him back, show him no respect, and... It's a world title fight. We're going to get...
What do you make of it, Simon?
Well, I think it's brilliant. We had Dalton on the show, boxing about 2 or 3 months ago, talking about fighting this guy in Puerto Rico, which was originally where it was going to be, wasn't it? And then you fought wherever you thought that you needed to have the fight. The interesting thing for me was picking up on you saying that you decided to change and bring it to him. At what point, you had a good first round. I thought second, 2, 3, and 4 were difficult rounds for you, and I was worried for you. At what point did you and your father sit there and go, well, no, we're going to bring the fight to him? We're going to change the direction of travel because as you said off air, you said we had a game plan. This wasn't the game plan. I decided to change the game plan. When did you decide to do that?
After the first round.
Did you? when you were in ascendancy?
Yes, obviously I knew he was going to come.
Yeah.
And it's either stay on the back foot, box his head off, but he'll close. That's his game plan. And obviously he was on it. He was throwing a lot more shots, and I just felt comfortable in there with him. And me and my dad knew there was going to be hard times in the fight.
Yeah.
So look, Subriel's one of the most feared men in the division. He's been avoided for all them years. And you see the way he fights. It's not going to be easy. You're going to have to take your licks. But I answered every question what was asked before.
He's a difficult guy to read, though. And I think that the point that Simon was asking there when he says, at what point did you recognise that you had him is because you fight certain fighters and, he's from that part of the world where the facial expression doesn't change whether you hurt them or you don't hurt them.
Yeah.
And you go, but as a fighter, when you're in there, you hit him with a couple of shots and you hear a little... Or you'll hear something, you go, I got him. He's ready.
I hurt him the first round with
There's a turning point, isn't there, where you go, I got this kid.
I remember throwing a slip uppercut in the first round, and I seen his legs dip a little bit. But with Subriel, he shows no emotion.
No.
But I knew I'd hurt him, so I got the confidence from that.
What was interesting for me to hear from him was that because we felt, and let's be honest about what we felt that getting him out there in the 5th round was a necessity for Dalton, because we felt that the 2, 3, and 4, talking to Paul, you and Paul, that taking him out in the 5th round was not fortuitous, but was the right thing for Dalton to have done, and the opportunity was there, because potentially going later on the fight, it might have become more troublesome. You're saying that actually, no, this power didn't worry me, and I had plenty more left in the tank.
Honestly, I would have gone. I was there for 12 rounds. Believe me, like the engine wasn't dipping.
I think it was like when you get to that level, it was the game plan. I was looking at it and I'm going, so we were having this conversation on the show, and I'm looking at it, and you go after round 2, round 3, round 4. I go, now we know Matias, we know the way that he fights, and I go, this kid just gets stronger, stronger, stronger. The engine's going, Dalton's moving. I go, you have to meet him a fighter here. You got to beat him at his own game here, because otherwise the momentum's going to get too much. Yeah. And you've done that, and it. I've got to be honest, mate. I'm totally totally surprised by it, because like when you took him out there, like I don't think anyone could have predicted that. Anyone foresee that, because he's never been stopped before. He's never been on the floor before. He's a tough kid. He's been big punches, and you just went out there and ripped up the script. It was a surprise to everyone, and quality performance.
The thing as well, it's obviously everything was against us in the build-up. Going overseas, his promotion. Even simple things to the flights, they booked us direct flights. We had a connecting flight. We never had direct flights and stuff. And in the old build-up, I thought no one's respecting my power. They just think I'm gonna get in there and just try and outbox him, and no one respected my power. So I know my powers were level, and I was able to prove it.
What about your dad, Grant Smith, who's also your coach?
Yep.
The dynamic of that, how does it work for you? Obviously well. It's it's not a typical father-son relationship, but I was fortunate enough to have a sit down with Joe Calzaghe before the build up to the fight, and that was a dream come true for me, because I was able to even off camera speak to Joe, and we had similarities, and I thought, if it's worked for Joe and his dad, and look what they've achieved, I'm in a good place. But of course, me and my dad were very close, but it's weird in the circumstances. We're father, son, but coach and boxer. But
yeah, it's very unusual that. Like you had it with Lenny Woodall
again, your
and Richie.
father, son, but
boxer and fighter and coach.
Yeah. So is it hard to separate?
It is hard, but I've just learned over the years. It's either I can have a dad relationship, or my dad can sacrifice that, and we can go on and achieve. And we've got that right there. So that's all I need to ask. That's all I need.
What about the celebrations? I hear were you in an Irish pub? Imagine that, an Irish pub in New York.
It was a bang across the road from the Barclays Centre. So they stayed up until all hours till we were finished. So. It was good.
We saw some of that online, mate.
Yeah,
it looked like he was partying hard into
Do you know what?
To the early hours.
Very rare drink. I never drink after a fight, but I walked in there and the Guinness tasted good. The Guinness tasted good in there.
I don't want to labour this point, Dalton, but we know about Matias.
Yeah.
Was there ever any doubt about going ahead with this following his failed drugs test previously?
So the first thoughts, obviously, I found out on Instagram when it came out. So your first thoughts are, the fight's off. He's failed the drug test. And we learned pretty quick boxing has a few swings and roundabouts, and the fight still happened. So, after a day, I was just like back in the gym. My dad was like, "This fight's going to happen. Don't take your eye off the ball." So I just blocked everything out, and it did give me more fuel and hunger to go and think, right, basically, fuck you. You know what I mean? I'm going to, you've tried putting everything against us and this, but the victory is going to be that much sweeter.
Did it not play on the back of your mind, though? When you're talking about, I think it was Austrian, wasn't it? The performance-enhancing drug Austrian, and there was traces of it, and I think that the WBC allowed it and put him on probation, which is absolutely absurd, because it was under the threshold of whatever it was. And you just go, well, that's what happens when a fighter's washing out of his cycle. So he's clearly like, if it's in the system, it's in the system. So he's clearly used it. But did that ever play a part in your mind?
I couldn't allow it to.
Right.
You know, the fight was still happening. So it's, again, you play the cards you dealt, and it's either you run away from it or face it head on. So, you know, I just thought it's all a part of the story. And it's
Did it focus your mind on, or, you know, you've got to have a degree of resentment towards the opponent, haven't you? Going into a fight. Did that center it even more, thinking, you know what? Not only am I going to beat you, I'm going to beat you because you're a cheat.
Exactly that. I lost respect for him because I think you've come in here to cheat. And like you said, especially in boxing, PEDs are probably the worst sport to be allowed in. Well, not allowed, but allow it to happen. But
did you say anything to him after the fight?
Of course, it was hard because I wanted to show him respect, but in another instance, I lost respect in the whole process of it.
Sure. What about the journey you've been on? I mean, that belt in front of you, Dalton, now shows that you've reached the destination you were seeking to reach.
Yep.
But how would you describe the journey?
I have no clue. I don't like. Somehow we're here. It's somehow we're here, and it's been. I don't know. I have no words for it yet.
Not sunk in yet.
No, I don't think so.
As a fighter, as a young kid, when you're growing up, the green and gold belt is the belt that everyone wants, isn't it? And like you've achieved the ultimate goal. So I just go like, you know, like for you, it just must be such a sweet feeling.
He must also be celebrated and applauded and rewarded.
Absolutely.
Because he's won a title, a world title. It's one of those divisions that doesn't gain the attention that it should get. Josh Taylor didn't get the attention that he should have got when he was a 4-belt holder in this. What he's done is remarkable. It's a great division. There's great fighters in this division. Teofimo Lopez is in there. Gary Russell's in there, who seems to be inactive. Yeah. You've now got... everyone will make the noise about Adam Azim. That will come at some time. And I'd like to see him fight Adam Azim when if Adam Azim goes and fights Richardson Hitchens, wins that, I'd love to see a fight between these guys. But right now, what he should be getting is all the recognition, all the plaudits, and all the celebration, because he's a world title holder in a really competitive division.
And Dalton, you're a world champion. So do you think you're above a fight with Adam Azim?
Of course, and you know, boxing's one of those. You can win no matter what. You can achieve the best thing in the world. You know, become a world champion. Boxing doesn't allow you to enjoy it because it's always who's next, or someone else gets talked about. But it's like, I don't want to put a downer on Adam Azim, but I've earned my stripes, and you know, I deserve those big fights.
And the big fight might be you against the winner of Teofimo Lopez, Shakur Stevenson. Exactly
that, and I believe I've earned my position to go and get those fights. Go and get a big fight at Hillsborough. You know, I'm in that position now, so you know, I don't want to put a downer on Adam Azim, but of course, go and win your world title.
Yeah.
I'm supporting you. I want you to go and do
and
well.
Then we'll talk,
And then we'll talk.
Lopez
Stevenson, who wins it?
Yep. I think it's a 50-50 fight, but if I have to pick, I'm going Shakur on points.
You're going to go to it?
Possibly, yeah. More than likely, I'll be there.
And how would you feel about fighting either?
Without blowing smoke up my arse, I'm a world champion. I'm eligible to be in a ring with any of the champions.
It's been a tricky season for Sheffield Wednesday, hasn't it?
No, it's been hard to watch and be a part of.
Yeah. And I think for every Sheffield Wednesday fan watching and listening this lunchtime, you've done something really positive for them because you're one of them, aren't you?
Of course. And to be honest, Saturday night, there was a big bunch of Wednesdayites there. And like you said, I feel honoured for them to straight after Christmas to pay all that money to come to New York and make a special night like we did, because, you know, they was loud. It was really loud. So I feel like it is my duty to give something back to the club. And, you know, I think good things are coming. You know, the future's looking bright for the club. But I'll be there Saturday, you know, to get there to see everyone. And, you know, we've just got to look at a bright future for the club.
Great way to finish today's show, Dalton. I think Spencer, myself, Simon, are delighted that you've managed to come and join us in the show. So, WBC Super Lightweight World Champion, Dalton Smith, thank you very much indeed.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Brilliant. Magnificent. British light welterweight Adam Azim faces Argentina's Gustavo Lemos January 31st at the Copper Box Arena in London. I wonder how Adam is feeling about that. And further down the line, might we see what many would think would be fight of the year? Dalton Smith, a winner at the weekend, against Adam Azim. Adam joins us live this lunchtime. Adam, good afternoon to you. How do you feel about this upcoming fight against the Argentinian Gustavo Lemos at the end of this month?
I'm good, thank you. I'm looking forward to the fight, especially Gustavo Lemos is a very good opponent. He's fought in Richardson Hitchison. He's fought in Keyshawn Davis. So for me to get in the ring with him, it shows what level of the stage I am at the world level now. So hopefully, I'll get the job done on the 31st of January.
What's the direction of travel, Adam? I mean, I've seen the recent performances. I thought you were great in your last 3 fights. Starting with O'Hara Davis and building up from there. And I thought the performance against Kurt Scobie was a good performance too. You've watched Dalton go and get a world title. The direction of travel, Richardson Hitchins, Gary Russell. Which way are you going, mate?
See, whatever my team decides, but if hopefully this fight will put me in the number 2 in the IBF, so we could be in the Richardson Hitchison route for the IBF world title, because I do want to go that route or either the Gary Russell route.
Because it would seem to me that the way to get you and Dalton, because everyone's clamouring for this fight, and I didn't want you to have this fight until you were ready in your career, and people were saying to get you in the ring early, and that's what they wanted to do. And I think that was the right decision for you not to take that fight until you'd built up where you wanted to be. I mean, you would prefer to fight Dalton Smith having a world title belt yourself, wouldn't you? So you both go in as champions. It makes it more monetizable. It also makes the negotiations more equal because you're both world title holders, right?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, that's always been in my head. Like, I'm not going to go into a fight where the fight's not built itself. The only downfall of that fight was, it wasn't broadcast on like DAZN or any other broadcasters, but it was on like Fight TV. But I don't think a lot of people did watch that fight. If it was on DAZN or if it was on a different broadcaster, then it would have been a bigger fight, and a lot of people would be watching it. What do you make
of Dalton's performance?
I thought it was a good performance. I thought it was a good performance. Although, the rounds were going on, you could see Subriel Matias pushing the pressure on him. And then the thing is, what Dalton did, he stood and fought him. Which is probably a lot of people think that's the worst thing to do. Yeah, it's a bold move to do, but I feel like he got the job done, and the way he finished it off was a tremendous performance. And he, the main thing that regardless if the performance was good or not, he got the world title. So how do you think you're developing, Adam? How are you and Shane feeling that you're going now? I mean, obviously a lot of expectation. I've watched many of your fights over the years, seeing you. We've all been excited by you. I mean, how do you feel you're developing now as a fighter? What have you added to your arsenal over the last 4 or 5 fights? I definitely, these 4 or 5 fights I've had now, I know how to fight at the long range, and how to fight mid range, and to fight on the inside. Like, a lot of people have seen me on the inside a lot now, which is what I'm good at now. So, if any opponent is coming at me like Lemos, I'm gonna hopefully dissect him and then break him down and stop him. So that's what we have in plan. So for me, I feel like I'm an all-rounder fighter now, and before, like, I wasn't the greatest on the inside, but now I've got Shane. He's one of the best trainers for the inside fighting. Is getting better now.
We wish you well against Gustavo Lemos on the 31st of the month at the Copper Box Arena here in London. Adam, very briefly and finally, is 2026 going to be the year, mate, that we see you fight Dalton Smith? I know you're probably asked it all the time, but do you think we're going to see it?
I've got a job to do on the 31st of Jan, but you know what? I would love to fight Dalton Smith by the end of the year.
Fantastic. Adam, thank you very much indeed. Adam Azim, Dalton Smith, that would be something, wouldn't it, Sam?
It will be, but like I said to him, he wants to get a world title.
Yeah.
He can go and get if he wins this fight, he goes to number 2 in the IBF, which means he can potentially challenge Richardson Hitchins. I think Adam Azim can beat Richardson Hitchins, and then you get a British title fight, a fight between 2 British fighters for 2 world title belts.
Yeah.
That's more exciting, and also a better negotiation for Adam to be on an equal footing.
Adam, thank you very much indeed for joining us.